Hold up. Before you hit the dislike button, allow me to explain, because I think I got some valid points. Now, with that out of the way, of course, welcome to MMD Gaming. My name is Marvin Dahm, and let's get to it. To start off, to determine if something is actually better, there has to be a number to be compared. There needs to be a threshold. There needs to be data to analyze. And PCs can definitely be stronger in terms of hardware, no doubt about it. However, in this case, we're going to decide if stronger is equal to better. Whether it comes to playability, ease of access, joy, UIs, accessories, and adaptability, you can't add a number to that. And thus you can't say which is better, and it all comes down to personal preferences. Now I could say that's the video done, but I'm not going to cheap out. Consoles have their upsides, PCs have their downsides, and vice versa. So let's get into where in player experience a console is arguably better than PCs. Consoles are pretty much plug and play. You buy a game either in a digital store or you go to a shop. If the box says PS5, then it'll play on your PS5. The box says Nintendo Switch, then you should know not to try and play it on your 3DS. While most games get optimized to play on as wide a range of PCs as possible, if you would get into gaming and think your work laptop is able to run games at all, you're likely going to grab the short stick, realizing that this PC game is not compatible with your PC. It's a very minor issue, but it's still an issue. At any point, you might have that game that may or may not run on your current rig, unless you constantly keep updating your PC. You might not care that you have to go to canirunit.com. You might be very aware of what you buy. There's nothing wrong with that. But someone else might like to just go to a store and spontaneously buy a game, either for themselves or for a friend. Like I said, preferences. Another downside, and I kind of hinted towards it already, you can just keep your PC up to date quite regularly, but you'll be spending much more money than you would on the console. Looking at PCGamer.com, who got more knowledge on PC hardware than I do, I grabbed a list of graphic cards that are comparable in power to an Xbox Series X. And you'll be spending at least 800 euros for a graphics card instead of 500 for the Xbox Series X. And to be fair, in that price range, you can also get a newer card that outperforms the Series X on graphical power. However, that's just a graphics card. You'd still need a motherboard, CPU, an actual casing to put it in, and so much more, which will all be added to that price. And yes, you can buy those parts used, but once the Series X is in rotation on used markets, I can get the Series X for less than 500, and you'll be back at getting a console for far less than a PC. And I'm not going to ignore that games on PC are cheaper than on console. But PC can't tap into a used games market. So, pros and cons once more. Now we can talk about mouse and keyboard. And you might think, what can I possibly say that is a downside to mouse and keyboard? Well, there are a variety of people with certain disabilities that won't allow for prolonged use of mouse and keyboard. On Xbox, you get the adaptive controller, which allows people with certain hand disabilities to play games as comfortably as possible. I myself have a blood flow issue that affects feeling in my fingers. Gripping around a controller in my case is much more comfortable than placing them on a keyboard, as gaming is quite different than typing text. That I can do fine. But the movement is definitely different. There are people who have muscle issues and can't constantly grip a controller, and they are much better off on a keyboard. So once again, it comes down to preferences. Now I can go on and on about the smaller issues, but the point I'm trying to make is, yes, PC can definitely be more powerful than any console. However, pure power is not the only deciding factor when it comes to enjoying games. So, if you're on PC and it's absolutely the perfect platform for you, awesome. Just don't expect it to be the case for everyone. And instead of arguing over a platform, let's talk about games. The thing we should have a lot more passion for. And that's it. Not too bad, was it? If there's anything you disagree with, let me know in the comments. Honestly, I will reply to every single comment that will be put down. If you like what you heard, then there's a nice little like button to let me know. And if you want to make sure you don't miss out on anything in the future, there's also a nice subscribe button to help you out. And if you want more MMD gaming content, there is a nice little blog called mmdgaming.com, and you can watch me live on stream on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday nights at twitch.tv/m underscore monster underscore D. Of course, all those links in the description. Now, most importantly, thank you for watching, and hopefully until the next video. And as always, happy gaming.